Hello everyone, welcome back to the most hardcore EA Sports FC tactical channel. In our previous videos, we delved deep into the player ability system, including the skill move system, where we understood the skill grading system and the design of corresponding power and consumption values. The stats system, including the calculation of in-match stats and discussions on strengthening attributes. To fully evaluate a player's abilities, there's one last thing left: the most important, highly expandable, and ever-changing system in the game: traits. In today's video, we'll dive deep into FCT's trait system. After understanding the content of this video, you'll have a complete grasp of the player's strength design system. However, due to the vastness of the topic on traits, I'll split it into multiple videos. So, make sure to follow and hit the notification bell to watch the latest content immediately. Before we dive into the main content of this video, I must emphasize that the content is based on the current game version, which is the beta test 1.3.0 version. If there are changes in the game in the future, please refer to the latest game version. Of course, I will also discuss it in subsequent update videos. Basic trait settings review. Firstly, the trait slots are divided into main and sub-traits. Let's talk about the main trait slot. Traits in the main slot cannot be removed or replaced, they can only be upgraded. The main slot can have specific class traits and general traits, class all. Only S and A levels are available, no B level. For the sub-trait slot, traits can be removed and replaced. Generally, they are universal traits, but some are specific class traits obtained in a limited way. S, A, B levels are all available. Different class players have different numbers of main and sub-trait slots. Premium, icon players have 2 main plus 3 sub. Currently, the main trait slot is S plus A. Seasonal players have 1 main plus 2 sub. The main trait slot is all A, and the sub-trait slot comes with 1 B. Regular players have 0 main plus 4 sub, usually with 1 S or A. Note that in the latest beta version 1.3.0, regular players have been strengthened from 3 traits and 3 skills to 4 traits and 4 skills, greatly increasing the practicality of regular players. Regarding trait stacking, traits can be stacked, meaning a player can have 2 or more of the same traits, regardless of the level. One thing to note is that when learning a trait, if a trait is already owned and is in another player's trait slot and not in the inventory, it won't appear in the learning list. For example, if both player A and player B have trait C, when choosing player A to learn a new trait, player B's trait C will not appear in the learning list. However, the item version of trait C will be displayed and can be learned. If you want to stack player A with player B's trait C, you need to first remove trait C from player B, and then you can proceed. Regarding the whereabouts of traits, including skills, during player evolution. When you get a duplicate player, the main trait and main skill will directly upgrade the existing player's trait level in the form of upgrade materials. The sub-trait and sub-skill will be sent to the inventory as items. So, you don't have to worry about losing the trait of a duplicate player because the existing trait is maxed out or has been dismantled. Basic trait settings. In the game, the trait filter shows all trait categories, as shown in the picture. Here, note that many traits have the phrase "only FP can learn." The game doesn't seem to explain what this means. In my understanding, FP should be an abbreviation for field player, which is opposed to the goalkeeper. Only FP can learn means that GK cannot learn. Of course, there's also a category called only GK can learn, which is relatively rare but does exist, confirming my thoughts. Whether FP is an abbreviation for field player is not important, understanding this meaning is enough. LV1 LV10 trait values. Generally, LV1 is 60% of LV10, and conversely, LV10 is 166.7% of LV1. The specific value increase calculation method is that from LV1 to LV10, there are a total of 9 upgrades, but the total upgrade amount is divided into 10 parts. The first upgrade is 2 parts, and the subsequent upgrades are 1 part each. That is, the gain from upgrading from LV1 to LV2 is the highest. Whether the value increases or decreases, it follows the above rules. For the sake of discussion, all trait values in this section are based on the value at LV10. If you want to know the value at LV1, you can directly multiply it by 60% according to the formula introduced earlier. Regarding trait level, in the game, the chart only shows 3 levels, S, A, B, but in the same passive category, there can be up to 3 different bonus ratios of S, 2 different bonus ratios of A. High bonus traits are generally owned by Premium, Icon, Seasonal, and are in the main trait area. They cannot be learned and are considered part of the player's ability. Because today's discussion is based on all trait data, different bonus ratios of the same level trait will be distinguished as S++, S+, S, A+, B. Next, we will discuss all the traits in the game in detail, considering the following aspects: basic description, classification, source, etc. Bonus level gradient. Applicability discussion. Rating based on recommendation 1, 2, 3 stars. 2-star anti-category. The anti-category trait can be roughly divided into 4 categories. The first is the league category, such as Bundesliga, La Liga, Serie A, League 1, Premier League, etc. Power gradient. S, 6%. A, 4.2%. B, 2.4%. The second is the team category, such as Real Madrid, Manchester City, Bayern Munich, etc. Power gradient. S premium, 12% and 9.6%. Here, 12% is at the supermodel level, but because of the small scope of application, it doesn't affect the balance. Players with S++ traits are generally players with SS skills, and there is only one in each player pool. A, 5.6%. The third is the position category, such as FW, MF, DF, GK, etc. Power gradient. S++, S+, S, 6%, 4.8% and 4%. A plus, A, 3.6% and 2.8%. B, 1.6%. The fourth is the attribute category, also called the color category, because it is divided into power, speed, technique attributes, and divided into different colors. The power gradient is exactly the same as the position type. S+, S, 4.8% and 4%. A plus, A, 3.6% and 2.8%. B, 1.6%. The anti-category is a very common passive trait in the game. Depending on the scope of application, its practicality will also change accordingly. I think the most versatile is the anti-position category, such as the shooter's anti-GK and anti-DF, the goalkeeper's anti-FW, the midfielder's anti-MF, etc. All have a very high coverage rate. Stacking the same category can get a considerable bonus. The anti-attribute category has a coverage rate of only 1 out of 3, and its function is not as good as the position. However, it can increase its strengths or make up for its weaknesses in the absence of good passive traits. For example, a power attribute player learns the technique attribute Nemesis, which can take advantage when facing a technique attribute player, or learn the speed attribute Nemesis to make up for the disadvantage when being restrained. Of course, in some single color matches, there will be super stable performance, but generally, it will not be used as a common PvP player. Anti-league and team category both have significant limitations and should not be pursued as primary goals. If they can be triggered, it's a bonus. I think the greater significance lies in the substitute shooter, which can target the opponent's goalkeeper. However, due to investment cost issues, substitutes will not be considered in the early stages of the game. Stamina cost reduction category. As the name suggests, it reduces the stamina consumption of all commands. Currently, there is only an S-level reduction trait. S+, 4.8%. S, 4%. The reduction trait does not provide substantial help in duels. The skill consumption of FCT also fully applies the formula, and the overall difference in player stamina is not particularly significant. Instead of wasting a trait slot for reduction, it's better to increase other abilities. It's not recommended as a target trait to learn. Recovery, dual win, category. When winning a matchup, except auto action or against GK, there's a 100% chance of own stamina recovery plus 13.5. Only FP can learn. Currently, there's only one A seasonal, 13.5%. Basically, it's similar to the stamina cost reduction category with higher values, but the recovery condition is to win the duel. My evaluation is that, like the reduction, it's better than nothing. 1-star secure catching category. X% chance to still catch a spilled ball when catching. Only GK can learn. When choosing to catch a shot, there's a chance of spilling the ball. The secure catching trait, when activated, can turn this situation into a secure catch. This trait is not 100% activated, but is activated based on the level. S+, 102%. S, 85%. A, 60%. B, 34%. S+ can achieve 100% activation with a single trait. S needs to be combined with B or A plus A to achieve 100%. A plus B can reach 94%, which is also acceptable. Currently, I don't fully understand the FCT's dual advantage and disadvantage win probability calculation method. However, based on CTDT experience, whether it's a goalkeeper advantage or disadvantage, there's a certain probability of a spill. Spills are very unfriendly to catching goalkeepers. If the ball bounces to the opponent, the goalkeeper will be off balance or even fall, and the opponent's shot success rate will increase. Continuous use of the catching skill also consumes a lot of stamina. Even if it bounces out of the baseline, the opponent still has the offensive ball right, so the secure catching trait plays a very important role. However, I must say that the design philosophy of CTDT and FCT is completely different. In CTDT, the Catchmaster and other passive traits do not conflict and can be obtained at the same time as part of the player's design. In FCT, secure catching directly competes with other passive traits for a slot. By gaining the ability to avoid spills, you lose other more practical passive traits, such as directly increasing the catching ability or the ability to face shots. When you gain other abilities and turn the dual disadvantage into an advantage, this improvement is far beyond what secure catching can compare. Moreover, to achieve 100%, you may need to waste 2 trait slots, which is not worth the loss. My conclusion is that if it's in the main trait, at least it's a useful trait. But in the subtrait slot, it has no competitiveness at all. Alright, we'll end this video here. In the next episode, we'll continue. There are still many categories to discuss, so like and follow, and we'll see you in the next episode.